All right, friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. We continue on with our Aserai campaign here. Things look good. The mods are all loaded. And I better do a recap here. We were captured. Wazu was captured. His force was taken prisoner at Hassan Folk. It's very messy on the east, right? Wazu, of course, now he has nobody in his army. We're going to have to rebuild here. We have one small army of the Aserai that's strangely, obnoxiously attacking Khazate castles up north. Meanwhile, Khazate is just totally impinging upon the rest of our kingdom. Now, we have a little castle up there that we were granted. But look at this mess here. There's a lot of dust storms. Just like these dust storms here, these sandstorms all across the frontier, Valandians are storming all across our frontier as well. It is very, very messy. Okay, so there's at least one Valandian city that we're trying to take back. I say we. It doesn't actually show an army there, so that seems like that might be a single army, you know, not a full army full of troops. Of course, these dipshits went all the way north and took Chanopsis Castle. We're somehow at war with the Northern Empire, even though the whole Southern Empire is in between us. And now it's basically time to rebuild this campaign. This is we're getting. Oh, you know what's going on? There's another one. This is great. These are people coming back from quests. I guess they were just waiting till I got out of prison to rejoin the army. So I was going to say we got to rebuild the army, but how timely is that? That's like being greeted as you get out of prison by your wife and all of her best friends. And they're like, yeah, let's go. Let's get back in this. So we're going to try not to get captured here till our troops recover and heal. But how nice is that, right? That's amazing. It's almost like an exploit. We don't have enough archers, but I mean, we just have 100 troops like instantly in the blink of an eye. And I realized this too. Part of the reason that we lost the siege of Hassan Folk is I didn't have my companions. There were a bunch of them on quests, as you can see, right? These guys are just coming back to me now, and they're probably like, Wazu, what happened, man? You know, you got captured, you big dipshit. But all is well that ends well, although I don't see my wife, and I'm very perplexed where the fuck my wife is. She doesn't have a party. Of course, my pregnant wife is out there. I mean, am I blind? I don't see her in my army. She's just not on any of the lists. It's like my wife, I don't know. Maybe that was it. Maybe there's someone's going to serve me a notice that you have been served. Your wife is asking for a divorce. Maybe one loss, and this gal, she you know, to hell with the hard times. She just goes and finds another Mac Daddy. I don't know. It says she's down here in the south. It says she's hanging out at this village. Maybe she's hitting on the local governor or some shit. That's really strange. Hopefully she returns to me, right? She's an amazing wife, child-producing, axe-murdering. And she uses a spear or something like that. But you guys know what I mean, right? She's fucking amazing. I'm hoping she's my governor long-term. Now, we could call armies to us here, but I got to figure out what's going on first, right? Hassan Folk is now in control of the Khazate. I don't have a lot of influence, so I wouldn't be able to call a large army to me anyways. That's another quest. Hey, you know what? That might be her. Let's see. So all the quests are done. I did all these quests when there was a bunch of peace for a while. Let's see. There she is. All right, so R was back. That was just a nightmare, both the loss and my wife leaving me. So all is well, right? We need some food for these soldiers. For some reason, we've got quite a bit of equipment. I don't know if they didn't want to take all of my equipment. It felt bad for me. Or maybe we'll just roleplay that Wazu had stored all that shit and cakes and whatnot throughout the prison. And he's got a bunch of loot left. Normally, when you get captured, I think you lose everything. But for some reason, we've got some goodies. All right, so where did that Khazate force go, right? They went down here somewhere. I got to figure out what the fuck's happening here. We're definitely, our kingdom is under assault, and this is really ironic. I had not intended on having a lengthy period of time being a vassal of the Aserai. We're moving a little bit encumbered. I need some more horses. We're doing the recovery. Oh, look how bad this is. This castle, whoever was there, is getting attacked by a Valandian army. So it gets worse. Right? The Valandians are just absolutely bitch-slapping us, completely bitch-slapping us in the west. And that's a long way to go to deal with that. But where did this Khazate force go? It sure will look like they went south. Yeah, Unquid was, it looks like Unquid was there and he got taken captive. What a dipshit he is, right? That guy, he's been staggering through this campaign. Now, how come I'm getting so many troops? I swear I have this troop thing. Where's this thing? Here it is. How come I'm getting so many recruits? I don't know. Maybe I've just done a lot of quests, so these villagers love me. Maybe it's because our whole kingdom is under threat, and so the villagers are like, please, come on, man, save us, Wazu. We know you can fight. Unquid, we're not so sure about, but maybe you can rally us back from defeat. So this is also scoreboard watching season, and that's a baseball term or any sport term. We are watching this scoreboard very closely at this stage because it's very interesting to see what happens here. Is Valandia, are we going to get peace? I won't be able to negotiate peace with our kingdom, right? I don't have enough influence to really make an impact in decisions, of course. And that reminds me of a point I cut off of myself. What's going to happen in this campaign here as a vassal? We are being driven in on multiple sides here. I don't see that Khazate force still, and it's not like all is lost, right? We're a long ways from being conquered, but this was not part of my plan, so to speak, right? This is not part of the plan. It was to have, I mean, in a way it was, to have the Aserai ravaged this badly. My plan was to give the Aserai a little bit of a disadvantage, give the Southern Empire some of these fiefs, but ironically, Khazate and Valandia, they're just taking the ball and running. They're like, to hell with your plans. We're just going to cause some carnage here. So it's actually a good thing. Like, the more I think about it, I hadn't intended. Okay, there's not good equipment there. I was going to do this tournament here while I just rambled for a bit if there was something good there. We need some horses so we can speed up. But I had not intended on having 4, 5, 6 episodes of Wazu as a vassal. And I still don't. But we'll see how long it takes before we sort of stabilize things here, right? Because it's highly unstable. Yeah, I got all this equipment. They left me my horse. Is that normal? I mean, I think I have 2 horses. It's almost like they left me some gear out of... I don't know. Maybe they watched how savagely we fight in that keep defense, and like the last samurai, maybe they're like, man, whoever this is, like, you know, this guy, I want to know my enemy. Like, let's treat this guy nicely. Don't kill him. Let's figure this guy out. So I always get beer, right? I figure my troops want beer. You guys like beer. We're gonna load our troops up with beer. I'm role playing that anytime we can. We're gonna buy like loads of beer, and I could buy some nice equipment. Here, there's a nice helm. But I think I learned my lesson from Wazu. It's better to have a mobile cache, right? It's better to have liquid cache than a bunch of equipment that just gets seized by the enemy. Where the fuck did this Khazate force go? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm imagining it. Of course, the purpose of what I'm doing right now is to rebuild the army still. We're going to every village and loading up. But I swear I saw a Khazate force head south here, and I'm curious if they're attacking another target, Hubyar or something like that. I haven't seen anything light up. I don't see any trails. Medeni castle's under siege, but that would be a long way. I don't think they could have got there that fast. We're almost to full capacity, but we also have a very weak army. Of course, we lost all our elite troops, all our elite companions, and cataphract, and we had a very powerful army. We had like 30 Imperial Sergeant crossbow. Let's check this Medeni castle out and see what's going on here. Oh shit, here we go. Jamea Castle. I bet this is the... Oh shit, I almost got fucking killed not paying attention. A whole Khazate army just rolled by there. What's this shit? There's one guy just sitting here holding, it says. We'll kill this motherfucker. Maybe he's got some prisoners. As long as the rest of those Khazate took off, they left this guy here. I don't know if he's waiting for more troops. It says holding. Come with us. I mean, it's not an easy fight, right? Even though we heavily outnumber them, we have all these peasants and fucking low-level troops. We're gonna have to level this army up here, of course. So this kind of battle is actually really beneficial for us at this stage. Again, I'm narrating into space. There's some chance I don't even include this as part of the Aserai campaign. But fellas are hankering for more episodes. I get funny comments like, I'm fucking pounding the table. Give me episodes now. So, you know, for at least a short term here, this is the equivalent of being long-winded in real life. We're gonna play through some of these battles here. Of course, we're favored to win. God damn it, I have the battle size mod loaded, so my troops are a little out of whack. I don't think that's gonna matter here though. They got 24 horse archers. We can deal with them. So let's get archers set up with protecting cav wings. And then once these guys are bashed in, then we'll deal with the rest of their troops. I don't have near as many archers as I want. We have like 50. I want twice that in this army. But we'll be able to do some leveling here, right? We have a bunch of Aserai recruits, whatever they're called, the Aserai. I think they're just called Aserai recruits. And we need to get these guys leveled up. Even just to like light archers or the middle tier, what is it? Just I think it's brilliantly named an Aserai archer. So we'll try to recover this force here. Throw a few javelins. Oh shit. That's what happens, I guess, when a 7-foot-tall Wazu throws a beast javelin into you. You get obliterated across the whole frontier. I love those ragdoll effects where guys just seem to get hit like unbelievably hard by a javelin or something like that. Of course, that's just a bug, I think. I think. I mean, Wazu does have 250 throwing, and he is 7 feet 1 inches tall, right? This is a beast of a guy we got here. We're going to cut down some archers here. And the rest of their forces look like they're either running or heading to high ground. They would not rout at this stage. But we're going to clean up their horse archers here. If they're going to allow us to just isolate these guys, we will kill these guys. I've got to work on my javelin throwing skills. Wazu sits really high up in his horse because he's huge, right? He is the maximum sized character. And so a lot of times I'll literally swing a sword over the head of the enemy or, throw a javelin over the head in that case. But, I think there are going to be advantages to being tall. At some point or other, we may stick Wazu on a giant camel, and that's going to be really interesting. I'll have to get a two-handed sword or a polearm, because I don't even think he'll be able to reach anybody with this sword. It's going to feel really weird. It'll be the closest thing you see in vanilla, or I know we're not vanilla, but in Bannerlord, sort of regular, quasi-regular Bannerlord, to being on an elephant. He's going to be like 12 feet up in the air. Now, he'll be very vulnerable like that to arrows, right? Obviously, if you're way up high, every archer sees you coming across the battlefield like you're a giant giraffe. But obviously, there should be plenty of advantages to it as well. I'm going to fiddle around with the camels. This camels comes from a camel mod. It makes some of the camels bigger. There's more variety of camels. It's not like there's 3 of them or 2 of them. A couple of the camels cause major charge damage, kind of equivalent to a royal death steer. They can't jump still. They're still really weak. They don't have good armor, but they have better armor. And I think most importantly, you're like riding above a lot of the fray. Guys can only attack your legs and maybe your mid-core, unless they have a really long spear or something. They can't even reach your chest or your head. So that's, sort of a countermeasure. Whoever made this mod made it really balanced, like as far as I can tell. They're better than the garbage vanilla camels, which is really kind of a disgrace. But they're going to be, still weak. Motherfucking Lord's trying to kill me. We could lose this battle, I guess, if I'm not careful here. We're going to split our infantry division. Anyways, this camel mod will be something I play with a little bit, and if it's too powerful, I simply won't use it. Not the mod that I won't use, because I want the Jawal to have it. The Jawal characters seem to actually get these giant upgraded camels, which is awesome, right? You have these poorly armored, gigantic camel riders. It's going to add a little element to battles. But of course, if it makes Wazu like where they can't even hit me, of course we will just sell his camel, right? We'll turn down, obviously, quasi-exploitive advantages. Now, we're not going to turn down the enemy infantry coming right into the center here, and I'm going to demonstrate something, fellas. I'm going to get on foot, and what I'm going to demonstrate in this battle here, we're going to occasionally do this in the campaign. This is a surround and drown. You put cavalry behind the enemy, harass them, and then as soon as the enemy gets in close here, you charge at everybody. It's the most basic kill box, right? And it's not really a true kill box, of course. We didn't do any range kiting. But all we did there is open up the center, put infantry on both wings and the cavalry behind the enemy. Oh shit! Horses flying all over the place. And then we did an all charge. And the death spam tells you all you need to know. These are dark hands getting killed. The death spam it shows that we're fighting with relatively weak troops, and yet we're still just completely shredding these Khazate. And that's important, right? I mean, I could have done, obviously, a lot more advanced tactics here, but I am going to have sort of the occasional demonstration for fellas, because some guys watching this trying to learn how to play. I understand some guys are just watching this for fun, But some guys watching this are benefiting from the simple things in Bannerlord. And of course, I understand a lot of the gameplay that I'm showing here is not the simple things. We're showing very advanced gameplay. I'm highly experienced. We'll cut off one more head here. He says, "Go!" as he cuts the guy's head off. I guess he's talking to the guy's spirit. Go! You can leave your body now. But victory is achieved here with this raggedy band. We have a handful of good troops, but we got to get upgrading here before we can get back to killing the enemy up to Wazu. Yeah, I won't use that too many times, I assure you. Wazu and all the puns. We got prisoners up to Wazu. We'll sneak a few in here, right? We've got gold up to Wazu. We've got a lot of things up to Wazu here. This campaign is going to be up to Wazu. Eventually, of course, we're going to put this campaign on pause. I had intended on like 1 or 2 episodes as a vassal, but with so much chaos right now in the frontier, let's do more horse archers. With so much chaos in the frontier, I think there might be 3 or 4 episodes here before we put Wazu to sleep. And for those curious, putting Wazu to sleep, yeah, we'll do some shock troops. Let's do some shock troops. These are the tier 3 shock troops. We'll take some of those. Putting Wazu to sleep is basically a process where I'm going to allow mods to make the enemy stronger. 15 plus years are going to elapse. In the blink of an eye for you, it'll probably be 1 episode. And the simulation is that Wazu gets complacent, right? He gets lazy. So it says there's a huge army that came in here. I wonder if that was the one that broke up. But I don't want to rush through this, right? This is a really interesting stage of a campaign. We're just becoming a mercenary. I keep saying a mercenary. We just became a vassal to the Aserai. So we're running around in kingdom mode. And at a minimum, it's going to benefit some of the guys who are learning kind of what to do at this stage, how to recover from a disastrous loss. But this is also going to be interesting to see what happens here. We're being impinged upon by 2 different kingdoms. Meanwhile, our dipshit ally is up totally rampaging and lighting Northern Empire villages on fire, oblivious that we're being ramrodded and backdoored here by 2 different kingdoms. There's multiple castles under siege here. Jamea and whatever the other one is. I'm going to leave this perk. I don't know which one I might eventually use it for two-handed, but I'm going to start leaving a few perks for Wazu here as we come up with our strategy on how to skill spec him. Let's see what we got going on over here. These castles are near each other. I know one of them is the Aserai, or I'm almost certain one is the Aserai. This might be that Khazate force. There's not many defenders. Look at these castles are right next to each other. It's like our enemies are meeting in the middle. And indeed, the Khazate is here. And it's a very devilish army of Khazate, right? We got the 666 going on here. And I think this is a situation where you automatically win. It's just the weakness of the AI. Even though we're approaching with a sizable force, they won't leave, right? They will just continue to siege here. And even worse is we can wait until they engage, and then we can jump in the castle. We'll lose some troops when we jump in the castle, but we will then be able to throttle them there and get a bunch of, well, hopefully prisoners, right? That's part of the reason we got captured at Hassan Folk. I'm hoping we can get some of our troops back by defeating the armies that captured us, right? I'm pretty sure, although this guy, Misui, maybe that's not the same army. We're hoping to recover a little bit here, right? We need some horses, we need some food. You're sort of forced to regroup after you get defeated here. Now, what's going on over here? This is Vlandi, I think. Medeni Castle. I've flagged this as a really interesting castle to defend, so maybe we can get inside here. Although not against that many troops. There's almost no defenders. So earlier in the mercenary stage, Wazu was completely insane for gold and acting like a maniac. Here, I think we're going to be a little pragmatic because I very realistically would get captured there. And we're just starting to rebuild here. I don't really want to get captured again and look like a dipshit. We're not going to do completely irrational stuff, just occasionally. Oh shit, look at this sandstorm here. Well, this would be amazing if this storm doesn't move north. The storm actually seems like it's moving. It's like it's moving away from us. Either way, though, we're going to defend this castle and recover some dignity here, right? Win a couple battles. 46 Consguards, 32 marksmen. So you could see you can see the strength in AI mod, right? These badass one-eyed Khazate are loaded to the gills with elite troops because of these mods, right? Normally, an early game Bannerlord like this, you see some weak-ass armies. Well, this Khazate force has like 100 plus tier 5 and 6 units. More than that, probably. I didn't look close. Of course, you're always welcome to look, go back and look. But I still think we're going to be able to make a defense here. These walls are low, which you would say, well, that's a disadvantage. Get the fuck off the walls. I'm trying to get all my troops off the walls. Definitely not sergeants and Schultz. Fuck, I just fucked up all my units again. Apologies here, fellas. We'll get this sorted out. I'm going to get my troops off the walls, right? And with low walls, they're even more vulnerable to the enemy. So what do, right? You get them off the walls, and then the enemy is the one that's vulnerable. They come on those walls, and they're going to get torched by our different archers and whatnot. As they come up those walls, of course, our archers are just staring at them, coming off the ladders and the siege tower, if they have a siege tower, and they're going to be able to inflict enormous damage. Meanwhile, we will bottle up these ladders, right, and make it so that their infantry can't push on us. Alright, so I'm dragging some troops here. I gotta get these guys sorted out. Let's get these infantry blocks basically set up first. So I have 3 infantry blocks and 5 archer divisions. We'll just get these archers spread out in a big fan, different angles, so that these guys have good shooting angles. I might be able to use that secondary wall. When I explored this castle a long time ago, I remember this has a deliciously defendable second tier to it. So hopefully we have a good defense here. I don't think this qualifies as a good defense. We're going to be able to pound the Khazate here. There's I don't want to say no chance. There's very little chance we're going to lose this siege. I got a catapult here. I got rocks to throw. So I think we're going to be able to continue our recovery right here. Give me this catapult, bitches. Get off. I need like a badass name, a nickname for Wazu. Maybe you guys could help me with that. He needs... So my previous campaign, I played as a Jarl, which is spelled J-A-R-L, and I think it's a Norse term. You know, I'm a little bit ignorant to the origin of it. You know, it's a Viking/Norse term, I think from maybe about the era of about the same time as Bannerlord, like 1,000... Like, I don't know for sure, but I imagine some of the characters you see on Viking... Oh, the enemy's fleeing already. Man, that was fast. Okay, so a little bit of an anticlimactic siege here, but we'll take it for our campaign, right? We just instantly get victory here, and we're going to be able to continue to sort of quell this Khazate rebellion here. Come with us. Come with us, motherfuckers. Get some prisoners here. Anyway, so I was a Jarl in the previous campaign when I was a Sturgeon character. What do you guys think should be, you know, my name here as Wazu for this Khazate series? I may not adopt it right away. Of course, I'm sort of famous for asking for suggestions, and then I forgot you guys what I asked for, you know, the suggestion for. I'm a busy fella, and I'm older, right? So my brain is dying. It's one of those things that happens. I don't sleep very much these days. I don't need a lot of sleep. When I was your guys' age, I craved sleep like no tomorrow. When I was a teenager, I would sleep like 13 hours a day. Now I literally get 5 hours, and I'm fine. It's amazing how your life changes over the course of your physiological aging. I'll get this motherfucker before you can regroup. He's like, I think these are the ones that fled. You're not fleeing, although they have a strong... I might have stubbed my toe here. They have a very strong force. It looks like I can leave. We're not leaving, though. Wazu is angry. Wazu wants his pride. Wazu wants his gold back. Hopefully they have some equipment here. We can take some gold off these Khazate motherfuckers. But this is not going to be an easy battle either, right? This is... get some captains assigned here. We don't have our full army, and what I mean by that is, you know, we've got a bunch of guys that are tier 1 and 2 and stuff like that in this army. We're just getting back on our feet here, and we might have bitten off more than we can chew here. We shall see. We're not gonna save scum in this campaign unless there's a catastrophe. I haven't actually saved scum at all, I think, in this campaign. I'm trying to think if there is an example. Now, let me give you an example of when I will save scum, and you probably won't see it. I'll just edit it out. I'll try to tell you guys. But a good example is if Wazu gets killed in battle. I'm not even going to tell you that. Now, I can tell you so far, I haven't had to do that. He has not been killed in battle. I don't think I would even do it if Arwa died. If the wife dies in battle, we're just going to roll with it, right? It's a nice little role-playing element. I can't think of a reason of why I would save scum other than a bug or some kind of other calamitous problem, right? Like I accidentally attacked the Sultan in the mercenary stage, and then I wasn't able to become a vassal or something like that. There's a handful of very few things of why I will save scum. Oh, you know what? I remember. I saved scum to have a little example battle, but it was strictly to show captains. It was probably an episode or two ago, to the fellas who are curious to learn more about my style of play. So that doesn't even really count, right, fellas? It's not like I didn't even use the save game. I just used. Anyways, I fought a mock battle to kind of give an example of Wazu and his captains. So we're not save scumming here. The bottom line is, if we lose this battle, we'll lose this battle too. Just like the loss at Huss and Folk, we're gonna roll with it. And we very well could lose this battle. The more I look at the power bar, the worse it looks. The teal part up there seems to be growing, and ours is shrinking. So we're going to use a little bit of a peekaboo ridge. This is an odd version of a peekaboo ridge. We're doing shield and shock here, by the way. I forgot to mention I'm talking fast, and I still can't tell you everything. Shield and shock is where you have heavy cav, or light cav in this case, and behind them are those shock troops, and those guys are now wailing away at the enemy cav that's in here, right? All these Khazate nobles are being assailed by two-handed guys. Now, we don't have strong ones. We don't have palace guards, but this is how they level up, right? By butchering Khazate horsemen. The Khazate here have an incredibly strong army. I see Khans guards everywhere I look. I see heavy lancers. So we've got our work cut out for us. But the Peekaboo Ridge here, or the reverse slope climb, is where you're down a slope over a ridge. This is a variation of it, right? We are around the corner here. Our crossbow up on that ridge can't be hit by their archers. And of course their cavalry just now is finding him, just now starting to charge him. Meanwhile, these guys are shooting the shit out of everything on the flank here. Man, this is a tough fucking Khazate force. There's the Lord. And of course, the Lords still have the powerful mod AI. So these guys all have like 300 hit points, as well as better stats than normal. So this is going to be interesting. This battle here, we could definitely lose this and be two-time losers in this campaign. I'm hitting my own troops, of course. And look at this raggedy infantry that we have, right? There's fucking the Aserai equivalent of the Woodrunner, right? They've got low-level troops, fucking running guys over and shit, trampled with the horse. Look how many Khans guards they have. This is like 10 right here, maybe more. I mean, there's a big group of Khans guards circling us. I did not look very closely at their army. A lot of times I will try to look, but I was going to attack these guys no matter what. I mean, I guess if they had 200 Khans guards, we would have passed, but all right, so let's see what we can do here. It's time to start consolidating our forces up around the edge here. Their archers are pushing up, right? Well, they're not going to be able to hit us up here. These 40 or 50 archers 41 archers will not be able to reach us up here until they're like right in our face. And then, of course, we'll charge them and destroy them. So, coming up on this ridge here, we still have to deal with all this heavy cav and Khans guards and the noble that's running around with 300 hit points. It's going to be nasty, fellas. These enemy nobles are going to be nasty. And it's not just that they're going to have more hit points and better stats. Think about it. If they have 300 riding skill, they're going to be doing 30 to 50 damage, trampling our units with royal destriers and shit like that. And they're going to live like a lot of the battle because they've got so many hit points and they're running around. Of course, it's hard to even do damage to them. And these fuckers are going to be trampling our troops. It's going to change how I view. I mean, I've always tried to kill nobles with prejudice, but it's going to change it even more how I view them in a campaign like this. I don't know how I got stabbed there. I was like mid-air. That seems like a bug. I jumped over the guy and he still stabs me in my leg. Maybe he pointed his stick straight up in the air. But it's going to make enemy lords in this game much more like the boss music, you know, from like Diablo, where your hands started to get sweaty. I played Diablo like when I was your fella's age. And you'd face a really difficult boss and it'd be stressful. And I mean in a good way, of course. It would be very, very difficult. And that's how it's going to feel here. These enemy lords are going to be ferocious. Now, when these archers come over this ridge here, we're going to rush them. I've got all this two-handed weapon fucking infantry here. We're going to barrel in on these fucking archers and stomp the shit out of them. It's a little variation of a reverse slope climb, right? We came around the edge there. Their archers still can't get line of sight on us. And as soon as they do, we're going to tear in here. In fact, I see some of them coming over the ridge. Let's charge with infantry and drag cavalry into their sides, right? We can basically loop around them and hit them from multiple fronts, right? I've got these archers here, these crossbow. They're the 4th Corps. Most of those guys are probably out of bolts. So those guys, look at them there, leading. Those guys can charge, and we're going to loop around with the rest of our troops here and have an archer sandwich. Right, we're going to come in and smash these archers. This insolent Khazate fucking archer force. Fuck, that was almost death right there. That noble. See, these nobles are going to be nasty. You fellas that are not using the strengthen AI mod, hopefully this campaign will convince you to try it. Now, of course, presuming you have no difficulty defeating vanilla Bannerlord. Bannerlord can be difficult, but this is like Bannerlord on steroids. There's fucking cons guards all over the place. Enemy lords are fighting almost like you would expect a player to fight, coming up and swinging their glaive. And they're swinging it, with good timing at a high rate of speed because they have like 280 two-handed or whatever, 280 polearm. Look at this fuck here. And he's blocking everything. I mean, this is going to be nasty. If you don't know, of course, the higher the weapon skill, the more they tend to parry, right? So a very high-level lord with 280 polearm is also going to be blocking a lot. And, of course, this fucking guy's got good armor and 300-plus hit points. This is going to be amazing. These are my guys, right? Okay, I wasn't sure. It's nice there's no friendly fire here. We're in a death batch here. This is going to be extraordinarily tight. The enemy has like 20, it seems like 20 horse archers. 20, and I would say basically 20 cons guards. Almost all of them seem like they're cons guards. Or heavy cav, that guy's holding the flag. And then they have this fucking lord, of course, fucking parrying everything. I mean, we're going to have to develop our weapon skill here with our children and with Wazu. Otherwise, these forces are going to butcher us. I really do feel like I'm playing a human opponent here, that's like a dream to a lot of Bannerlord players. They want to have a higher difficulty campaign. And so I will, again, continue to talk about that part of it. For sure, if I haven't produced it yet, I will be making an episode that talks about how to basically mirror this campaign. In other words, how to have a lot of the same difficulty settings for your version. We are forming squares here, but these horse archers are being very cagey. I thought they would come to us. They're not. So we're going to push in here around the edge. I am going to stay near these walls, though, because we're going to get trampled. Oh, shit. We're going to get trampled in the open. I'd have been pissed if my character got knocked unconscious by that buggy landscape. Fucking horse archer motherfuckers. And of course I have an absolute sliver of health. Every time I look down in every battle, it seems like Wazu's almost dead. Fuck you cons guards. And Wazu is no beast, right? He's doing 20, he's doing 50 damage. If you get a good headshot, maybe it does 70. We're in a death match here. We're up against cons guards that are trying to fucking slash me with their giant glaive. I've got an elite lord running around. Yeah, and when they're ready to swing, I'm going to avoid, right? My shield will get broken and I'll get killed. I don't have much choice here, too. My troops are out of arrows. Yeah, I mean, just trying not to get slashed by a cons guard here. I've got him in a tight knot square. Oh, shit. I'm getting fucking chased from 3 sides. We may have to start squaring and just hug the wall there, right? They're still shooting, though. There's some of these guys still have arrows. Fuck. Fucking slashed right in the face. All right, well, this is the crossbow guy. He's got a decent little mace here, and it is time to start squaring. I'm going to drag these guys up into this little cubby hole. I think they're mostly out of arrows, that's the good side. It sounds like 1 or 2 of our guys still has an arrow, and we are just going to try to hold out here in what is really now a very stressful and close battle. Look at, they've got a lot of cons guards. That's got to be 8 to 10, maybe more cons guards. And of course, they're moving and slashing our guys. Look. I mean, doing hit and run attacks, fucking when they're caught up like that, that's when I gotta get kills. I'm gonna have to just drag our troops up tight into this little armpit, the armpit of the desert here. Yeah, fuck you, horse archers. Fortunately, this guy's got some decent weapon skill here and a shield, otherwise he would be killed. When they come in, we're gonna charge and basically try to counter them. You know, and there's guys who want to see an all-infantry army against cons guards. and horse archers. How do I defeat 900 horse archers with my 600 infantry? My answer is almost always the same. You're not going to see me do that. This is the closest you're ever going to see me do to that. I'm going to actually have a javelin, an all javelin side series. That's actually a side branch from this campaign. But we're going to have cavalry. I'm not fighting all infantry against Consguards because you can see not only what a tactical nightmare this is, basically just hiding, trying not to get killed, right? We're going to tuck ourselves up in this armpit, but this is slow and boring. Well, maybe not boring. I'm stressed, but maybe it's boring for you guys, right? We are down to the fucking wire here against like 10 very angry Consguards. And with no cavalry and no archers, you just basically are at the mercy of the enemy. And worse, the AI. They could just run around and do whatever they want. I mean, we've got this battle now under wraps, I think. It's 14-4, 13-3, 13-3. We should be able to win here, but this is a nightmare for a tactician. So I did eventually get in here and speed this up. This is just some after narration here. This battle against these three, because they took like another 5 minutes. And again, it reemphasizes the point that if you have nothing but infantry and no ranged units and no cavalry, I don't know, maybe you're a sadomasochist or something like that, but this is torturous for me. I basically just kept my group near me, and anytime we had the chance, we tried to stand up one of these Consguards and smash them with our spears and maces and stuff like that. They took out a few more guys running by and kind of slashing at us. It's a very painful process. The whole time I was playing, I was like, yeah, I can see people logging off in a hurry. But victory was ultimately achieved. Come on, fellas. Fucking kill this guy. This has been painful. Kill him. Now I'm going to have to chase this guy down. All right, fuck. Finally, victory here. Man, that was painful. I got like a stiff neck. That was like 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes, and the last 12 of it was fighting like 3 Consguards. But victory is victory. Very sloppy victory there. I will more than likely do a little after editing. We will take some prisoners here. Actually, we're overloaded on prisoners because of all the injuries we suffered there. I didn't actually see how many deaths we suffered. Sometimes I speed through these things here. But the recovery process continues. They had no troop prisoners. I was really hoping they would have some troop prisoners, but it's good to load up on loot. Wazu's eyes are starting to get wider as he sees all these glimmering and shiny damasked pieces of armor. He's getting that lust for gold again. Even though we are out of the mercenary stage, Wazu still clamors and yearns for more gold. So we will see. I gotta take a piss, and we will take a short break. Oh, shit. Okay, now we're recording. Fortunately, I didn't miss too much there. Sometimes you just don't hit the record button. So, our goal now, of course, is to continue filling out our army here and try to stabilize territory, try to stabilize the kingdom. Now, these 2 perks, both of them have a governor perk, so they're both sort of worthless, but bandits being converted into regular troops probably makes more sense. Morale is not an issue when you're a badass like Wazu, right? Everybody gets beer, everybody gets laid, everybody wins battles. Morale is just not a perk we need to boost. Now look at his medicine skill, right? His medicine skill is approaching 300. So his troops are starting to get extra hit points. We're going to start having victories here. Again, it's strange we have all these horses that they didn't capture. But we got to dump some of this shit, including the clay. Unfortunately, I think our workshop just gets seized from us, right? When you lose a city and you have a workshop there, I'm pretty sure the enemies just go in and throw all your pottery on the ground, or maybe they sell it all and take all the loot. Wazu got his first, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, we got our first workshop and it's gone now. So we got to dump some equipment just to move a little quicker. I'm going to head back, I think, to that castle we have way up in the northeast. Things are very messy down here. The Valandians are rampaging, but with a little tiny army, I don't think I can make a major impact. So we're going to go get some more troops. We're going to gain some levels. We're going to try to farm a little EXP for these troops, level up these troops. I can explain that a little bit. The Valandians took Medeni Castle. We've got prisoners we got to sell, right? So we got to get these guys to a prison merchant somewhere. And I think during these stretches of long desert, in between selling stuff, what is that shit? I hear siege there. I hear siege, but I don't see any siege. The Valandians will probably be heading there soon. There's a gnarly storm, dust storm over there. We haven't had many battles in the dust storms. Hopefully we get some really epic sieges or epic battles in this series in the storms. Where are you going? Tice army. We finally have an Aserai army here that's coming back to the homeland. Hopefully he can make some differences there. It's only 500 troops, but at least it's better than the dipshits that are heading north to Northern Empire territory, traveling to Barihal Castle. That's the Valandians took that over here, right here. All right, well, that's good. You know, hopefully we start to get some progress that direction, although I'm really not too concerned, honestly, about the Aserai, right? We are already contemplating our own kingdom, and fuck these Aserai guys. Although for the short term, right, we're going to continue to help guard this area to the northeast. And we can do some historical anecdotes, right? I'm going to get some horses. We're going to buy some more food and keep morale high. Where the fuck are you going? Traveling to Melian Castle. Where is that? Is that a Khazate castle? Oh, you asshole. I mean, this is way up north. Again, this charade, this Northern Empire war, what a catastrophe this is. 1,100 troops soon to be killed, heading in that direction. I mean, it would be hard to come up with a more disastrous scenario in a campaign. But that is horrible game strategy. Oh well, we're going to sell these prisoners, make some dinars. Incidentally, I think that's pretty close to the historically accurate term. It was used throughout, especially Arabic territories, and I think the term was denars or dinars, and not. Anyways, I think it's very similar to accurate to history. And speaking of history, I'll definitely talk at length in this campaign about various different interesting characters that were around at this time historically. And one of the most obvious ones, most Western people even know of him. I'm sure almost all Arabic-speaking folks know him and probably revere him. And that is the butchered in English. It's like a Cobb salad or something like that. Saladin, if they're being nice. I think probably a little better translation, and be gentle on me, you native Arabic speaking people. I think a better pronunciation of this tremendous warlord, and hopefully they do something there at Jamea Castle, is, let's see if I can do this right, Salahaddin. And sometimes it's Salahadini, which is an I almost at the end of it. So not Saladin, but Salahaddini. There's an HA almost sounding in the middle. Anyways, so if you want to sound like you know what you're talking about, maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. I've heard it spoken before by an Arabic historian, and it was Salahaddini. So this guy, anyways, though, Saladin, as the Western culture unfortunately knows him, was an incredible leader of tribes and huge armies in the 1100s. He's a rough contemporary, actually, of Richard the Lionheart, and they had a tremendous rivalry on the battlefields. We got some raiding going on here. These guys admired each other. Odrysa Castle. This is ours? Okay, we got... how did we get that castle? We got companions. This is regrouping, so I can't add her right now. When they get released, I guess they walk around in a daze for a few days. Anyways, so somehow we got another castle. I don't understand that. Whoops, our other castle's under siege here, of course, by the Khazate. Our kingdom is permanently under assault in this campaign. And I don't know how we got this other castle. I didn't see a vote. Sometimes I guess they just hold a council without you being invited, and they decided that, hey, you get to this castle, which is sweet because we're going to be able to pick up some of those troops on the way to the other castle, right? We will use some of those reinforcing troops to help defend Urzener Castle. That one I knew about, of course. If you missed it, we had a really difficult siege assault, aggravating siege assault of Urzener, where Wazu rampaged and was stomping through fucking everything. He was totally unhinged. This fucking dipshit traveling to Melian Castle. Whatever you do, don't fucking help back here where we're under assault. And look at this guy. This fucking asshole ran right by Jamea Castle. Anyway, so Richard the Lionheart, he doesn't help there at all. I think it was Richard I. He was king of England in the 1100s. He was very, very much a contemporary of Salahaddin, and they had a tremendous rivalry. It was Look at this guy too. Achios died of battle. Remind me to talk about the Death for All mod if I don't remember. But they had this tremendous chivalric rivalry, and what I mean by chivalric is these guys had a lot of respect for each other. They were both incredibly charismatic, excellent, strong leaders. 151 looters? I keep trying to do this historical analog and I keep getting interrupted by curious things here. Well, we're going to load up. Look at this shit. This is delicious. These are all our troops. This castle was just given us. I mean, yeah, that's right. This castle was given to us because we're badass, right? Wazu is badass. But this is quite a gift for us. We can overstock. Actually, we can dump our weak troops here. We'll dump all our lower level troops. They will slowly upgrade. We can dump a little money into this castle too so that it upgrades. But honestly, these castles are going to be very hard to keep in our kingdom. I mean, very hard. They're level 1 walls. I don't even know if I can defend this other one. I better not get too excited about it in case we get captured. Another Khazate force. Of course, the only loss we've had so far in this campaign was to a Khazate force. I don't really want to spare a governor, but look at Arwa. I mean, yeah, that's a wife, right? Look at these pathetic perks for governors, and then that guy's good. And look at Arwa. I mean, that is a beast list of perks. Lots of stuff for loyalty, right? She's going to be excellent for quelling rebellions, and I will talk at length about that type of banner lord. Okay. We'll get to that castle, but first, we're going to level up here. There's 151 homeless people here. Of course, I got a problem. No, you got a problem. You're about to get ridden down there, looters. Of course, homelessness has become a problem throughout a lot of Western culture. Every political side likes to blame each other. Look at this, all these homeless guys just pouring at us. They just need their tents under the bridge. And I'm sympathetic to homeless people. Ultimately, the homeless situation, the conservative politicians and conservative pundits blame liberal cities for giving free shit, and liberals blame Republicans for not being sympathetic and booting them all out of conservative locations. The bottom line is it's sad no matter how you look at it. There's always been poor people, but right now with how expensive things are in a lot of Western cultures, people are simply pushed out of their home in many cases. The local news did a story about how a lot of them literally are working at Fortune 500 companies and they can't afford rent. And so they're living in up-tiered tents in the city. I know that seems unbelievable, but they were literally talking to a guy who had an HD TV in his tent. Oh, look at this upgrades too. This is absolutely incredible. So I won't get political, but it is something that seems to be spreading across Western culture right now. There's a huge wealth divide between the rich and the middle class, of course, is shrinking. And a lot of those middle class are turning into looters, right? They're turning into big bands of looters with tents all over the place. Somebody's creating an army. And we have 2 large Khazate armies to deal with here at this castle. So all the anecdotal history will have to wait for a slower episode. This has suddenly been fast and furious. And I'm not just going to hover my mouse over the troops here for 20 minutes and tell anecdotal stories. The game must come first. I will talk more history. I will talk about Salahadini more. I will talk more about Richard the Lionheart and the Third Crusade, the Battle of Hattin. We will cover some of that stuff. And of course, I'm just doing this from memory. See if we can bring up some of the interesting chivalric rivalries that these guys had. They were amazing characters. Anyways, all right, so they don't have a ram. I don't know if you guys saw that. I should have mentioned it. I was rambling about something else. Oh, this is nice. We get to do the pre-siege setup. Even though, for some reason or other, my little blimp mode here, I can't get any higher. I'm trying to zoom out, and I can't. And it's moving slow. Still, we can set up our army now. And these settings generally save from siege defense to siege defense. So I set it up now. Shouldn't have to do it again the rest of the campaign. Or at least they shouldn't have to make major changes. So let's go ahead and explain it. The 4th Corps here, I don't actually have enough archers to put archers in there. I will have the 4th Corps be a reserve infantry division for siege defense, spear, shield, and weak troop preferences. And those guys are basically going to be the weakest militia. They will be placed only in a dire need. Now we need to get companions set up here. Actually, this is a perfect opportunity to set up the 8th Corps. The 8th Corps is generally my best division for keep defense, and I'll put elite companions there and elite warriors, knowing that when I send those guys to do a job, they're going to get the job done, right? This is my hit squad, and I will put some of the companions in that 8th Corps. Eventually, hopefully, we have 5 or 6 companions help augmenting that division. We've got some companions here with archery bonuses. These are always nice to have because, of course, you're going to be doing most of the killing in a keep defense with archers. So the second division is skirmishers. The first division is elite infantry. The second division, I don't see an opportunity to place it yet, but the enemy will be coming onto these walls down here. Of course, we had a siege assault here that was very difficult because of the layout of the keep. I got some fire catapults up there. That's going to help. We're going to cause major death with that. I apologize for how slow the screen is moving. I don't know why it's like that. But look at where I can put archers here. Let's see. We can put an infantry division down here to help defend and clog up these walls. And then I can put archers in opportunistic locations, including, look at this. I identified this when we took this castle. I can put them in a big long line up here and they're protected, right? As long as these guys aren't clumsy. They even have a railing in case some of these guys are Xbox kids and they just fall down every moment. Like we've got a nice little safety railing to prevent them from taking a header. And those guys are going to be able to do major work up there defending. Now down here, we can put the first division. The first division typically is my best infantry division. You know what though? They don't have a ram, so we don't even need to defend. Ordinarily, we would defend that gate. They don't have a ram. I don't see one. I'm pretty sure they don't have one. So they got ladders right here. We will defend the ladder with this first division, just kind of in a loose grouping here. That way, as the enemy comes down there, they get shot with arrows, and we'll put archers right here, right in a big long line. All of those guys are going to be shooting the enemy at almost point blank range as they come up those ladders. We can put another division here just to give the enemy another angle of archers shooting at them. These guys also support the 5th Corps. I've got this second skirmisher division. I think I'll place them by hand. What I'd like to do with the second skirmisher division here is I'd like to place them. Look at my adept horse here as Wazu checks out his walls here. Wazu, the badass, is definitely known for crashing his horse. We'll keep an eye on the gate. Of course, they may open the gate with troops coming up from the walls, but we'll keep an eye. We'll definitely watch it close. Oh, and by the way, look at that. I got the battle size mod going, right? They have 1,400 troops all on the battlefield right now. It's pretty badass. So this is going to feel gnarly. All right, so first division there. Let's get the second, and let's get them pulled over here as another division that can provide auxiliary fire, right? We will put them in a line here, shield wall, and hold fire. The reason I do that is because I want those guys to release javelins at opportunistic moments, right? If the enemy gets a press of troops up there and it looks sketchy, I will then unleash a hail of javelins, and it'll smoke everything on that wall. All right, so this is... We'll get these guys down here. What do I want to do here? I've got an infantry division here and the 8th Corps. The 8th Corps is my best division, but it already looks like there's low-level troops in it for some reason. What we will do with these divisions in the short term is use them in an auxiliary manner. In other words, they will just follow me for a little while. I've got that 5th Corps back there. They will provide cover fire. But the enemy's already getting up here on the walls. This is a little distressing, and I forgot. When they have no ram, they rush the ladders instantly. So we need to get up here because our catapult is over there, and of course I want to throw those fireballs. So I'll get the 8th Corps here. We'll threaten the other side. I might even have some troops follow me to that other side because I got to get up there. Let's have these guys charge. Where the fuck are you guys going? You fucking assholes. I said charge, not run back to the barracks. Fucking assholes. So I'm gonna have to fucking manually control these stupid bitches. Because what I want is to seize control of this fire catapult. The enemy's up here. They're charging the other side. And look at this fuck. You're not guarding the catapult. This is my catapult, motherfucker. Let's put this division right here and occupy these guys. This guy's hiding. You can't hide forever, you bitch. Javelin to the face. Now this militia, this is supposed to be an elite division. This 8th division, obviously there's something wrong with the setting. I was quite sure that I had selected a high-level troop preference, but it is what it is. Whoops, we're getting a little wild with our fireball Greek fire throws here, killing our own troops. Wazu, just like my last campaign, Zuvan is a little reckless. He doesn't care that much about his troops. He just wants dinars, wants to get laid, dinars, and he tells his generals and whatnot, his commanders, bring me your lunch. I'm eating your lunch today too. That's how he flexes on his guys. He eats their lunch and just stares at them with solid eye contact. You assholes. So the 3rd Corps I told also to attack. They are now storming out of the gate like a bunch of dipshits. And now they're not going back in. They're like huddled against the wall over there. So things are going badly again in this siege. This castle almost seems cursed. Fortunately, we've got a big pile of fireballs here and a big pile of enemies to have them meet in the middle, right? This is a different kind of match.com. This is a fireball looking for a face of an Aserai troop to explode, and we're going to take full advantage of this. Our 8th Corps here is holding the line, right? These guys are barely holding on here while I rain down fireballs. And a huge amount of reserves just poured in for the Khazate. They're storming up to the foot ladders. I'm going to have to rescue that 3rd Corps. Those guys are going to get butchered out there. I'm going to have to run over there and drag them in. One last fireball here for the road. You guys hold that side there, 8th Corps. I see arrows flying in. That looks good, even though some of these dipshits are getting stuck. Yeah, that 3rd Corps, they will not get back inside the castle. I've got to drag these guys, just like these guys here. These guys, if I had another javelin, these guys should be worried. We are going to roleplay a little bit, even though I know it damaging my own troops in a siege we could lose is stupid. I don't give a fuck. Wazu doesn't give a fuck. It's just a game, and we're going to have fun with this shit. These archers are raking here. Dude, this is nasty. And watch this shit. Let me slow this down. Look at, there's a lord up there. She's just getting scorched with javelins. Now, she didn't die there because of the powerful hero mod. That mod increases their hit points. She probably has 300 hit points, maybe 350. So I got to go tend this 3rd Corps and make sure that they're not being pursued. There's a pretty good chance they're being pursued because they were out there. It looks like they're fighting. This could be a disaster. If that gate's open, god damn it. Close the door. These are like that fucking asshole who doesn't fucking drop the toilet seat, and then you sit on a fucking piss-covered toilet seat at 2 in the morning because some asshole's too lazy to fucking lower the toilet seat down, the toilet fucking seat lid. Stupid asshole. Die, motherfucker. Alright, so this is a full-on disaster. I can't close the door for some reason, maybe because there's enemies pouring through it. The 3rd Corps shouldn't have charged outside the first place. They shouldn't have fucking retreated to a crevice in the wall when I told them to get back in the city. And now we have, it's like the gate, it's like they had a ram. They've blown the gate open. Or more accurately, the 3rd Corps just Trojan horse the fucking door. But things look good here, right? I'm not panicked yet. The death spam is very, very good. These guys are scorching everything in sight. In fact, we'll speed through some of these parts here. I'd be surprised if we lost this keep siege, even though we have that little tiny sliver of orange up there and there's a giant thing of blue. I can just tell from the keep layout here, oh, these motherfuckers are trying to rally troops to charge. Hell no. We're going to vigorously attack these guys. Look at the flag bobbing around the corner there. That was funny looking. All I can see is this flag bobbing up and down. Oh, shit. I can't tell if they breached or blew by the 3rd or what, but we'll charge. Let's charge at the 1st, even though those guys are going the wrong way. Well, that's appropriate. We'll kill these fucking disobedient troops. Well, you stepped right into it there, dude. Of course, Wazu's definitely known, just like Zuvan, for killing his own troops with javelins. I don't brag too much about my gameplay, but nobody kills his own troops like me. I mean, nobody. When Zuvan or Wazu pick up a javelin, everybody on the battlefield, including the allies and companions and my wife, everybody gets afraid. And that's how we're going to rule here. Wazu's going to rule through fear. He eats his captain's lunch with eye contact the whole time, just eating their little falafel roll or whatever. And he just stares at them, unblinking, eating their food. And that's all he needs to do to keep his troops in line, right? A little bit of fear. We're still primal beings, ultimately, just like a dog. You look someone in the eye and fucks up something, and it puts people in order. So this 8th Corps posse of fucking militia and peasants is still following me. They look like they're trying to get some food. They kind of remind me of like the homeless band mod. Or homeless, just homeless guys storming. And before anybody gets too upset, like I said, I'm highly sympathetic to homeless people. My wife and I pretty regularly give like gloves to homeless people whose hands are cold or look cold. We're killing nobles and getting levels here, right? We're doing some altruistic shit here. Kick this fucking guy. Fuck you. This is our walls. The death sounds. Fuck you. Get off our walls, fucking assholes. These are our walls. Get off. And to hell with you. All right, so let's bracket these guys. These guys coming up on the ladder. I can't let them build up a force here to rally and charge us. So we will charge the 8th Corps here. These peasants, it is peasants too. Look at them. None of those guys have armor. A bunch of them have fucking bathrobes on. Let's get the 5th Corps separated in the courtyard here, and then we're going to attack the other side. We will bracket the enemy. In other words, attack them from both sides, pinch them in the middle where the ladders are, and then these archers will be able just to, with held in place enemies, scorch everything in sight. Right here. There's Khazaits fucking dying. Of course, I gotta manually control people in this keep siege because it seems, I don't know if the pathfinding is having a hard time, but this castle's been a bitch to control units so far. This is my catapult, you motherfuckers. Fuck you, and fuck you. Get over here. These guys are taking their sweet ass time. That's why I take their food. They move too slow. We're gonna fucking barrel in here. Just like our other defense, the defense of Huss and Folk. Wazu's gonna fight. Over there looks good. There's a nice trickle of guys coming up, but they're coming into a murderous archer fire. This is definitely the weaker of the two sides, so I'm glad to pull this archer corps down. And, you know, I pulled them off the walls, but those guys are now raking. I mean, we're suffering some losses. That's okay, though. Right now, I feel pretty good. We can pull back to this spot if we need to. Now, I can steal troops from the 2nd Corps. The 3rd and 4th are already annihilated. In fact, the 8th is annihilated, too. We might be in trouble here, but my spidey senses say we're still okay. Look at this situation, right? Now, I can't get these disobedient fucks to pull back. They're chucking javelins all over the place like they're drunk. Less ale for these guys throwing javelins against the walls. And again, I will speed it up for you here. I'll speed it up for myself. It's sweet to be able to run back and forth. Our scout is getting levels. That's amazing, right? She's going to be identifying enemies at a long range. And I may rant about that. The fog of war, or the lack thereof, if this gets to like a stalemate here. Fucking Consgars up on the walls and shit. I need troops attacking here. These guys are shooting our fucking archers over here. Let's bring a division over here and attack these guys on the wall. Fucking assholes. There's fucking Consguards up there. Where the fuck are these guys? I'm gonna steal some of these guys too. Fuck, get off my wall. Oh, shit. I look at my health. I got plenty of health. Alright, I've got this new 3rd Corps. Kill those bitches. I got a companion here shooting her bow. Fuck you, Consguard. We're gonna clear this wall here. I've got some health. I've got some rage going on right now. I'm gonna club a few guys. Wow, I got archer support here. Once I clear this, then I can... The fog of war. Remind me. As if you guys can. Kill this Consguard. He's just wailing away on me. Shoot him. There you go. That's more like it. Alright, so the fog of war, you're running around the campaign map, right? And one of the worst parts of Bannerlord, you know, there's... Maybe it's not the worst part, but what I consider... Oh, wait. Hold that thought. Look at this Lord. We've already slashed her twice. Let's see how much beating she takes, right? 300 hit points. She's blocking everything, getting stabbed, clubbed. She's still not dead. Kill her. I mean, that was like 5 hits it took to kill her. This is going to be awesome. This powerful hero mod, man, am I excited for this. Again, it doesn't make me stronger. It makes the enemy lord stronger, though. They're going to have like 3, 4, maybe 500 hit points. And obviously high weapon skills. So we're going to have true clashes against enemy lords that are going to feel pretty epic. All right, so the death spam also feels epic. It's just a stream of green. We're just raking over here. In fact, these skirmishers have no job. We might even sally out at some point. All their troops seem to be on the ladders, and nobody's coming through the door. Well, I've got these archers and the skirmishers that we might sally out with. But let me sneak this in. The fog of war. Basically, you can hover your mouse over an enemy force, and it tells you exactly what's in it. And I mean like 17. Look at this guy. This ain't your castle. Get out, motherfucker. It tells you, you know, they got 17 archers and 28 equite and 33 elite cataphract. Well, that's totally unrealistic. Even army leaders wouldn't even have that kind of details, because there's like deserters and guys get sick and guys are aloof. It's unfortunate. It tells you exactly what you're facing, because it takes away both some of the unknown, obviously some of the unknown, but also some of the spontaneity. You want to go into battle a little unsure, a little edgy, whether or not you're sure you're going to win. So I tried a mod called Fog of War, but it doesn't work very well. And I better explain this before I go out. We're going to take the 2nd and 6th, and we're going to ambush these fuckers outside. They're not going to come in. Fuck them. The Fog of War mod, what it does is it changes the number of the enemy to just the first number. So if it's 787, it says 7XX. The problem with it, though, is you can still hover your mouse over it, and it, again, tells you exactly what's there. So the mod is kind of broken. Now listen to the death spam already, right? Now some of that was ours, but these guys are about to get shredded. We got 26 archers out here. I got skirmishers. We're going to move up in a shield wall. Once they're close, we will square them. And this lord is just begging for a duel over here, right? This guy's standing by himself. In fact, I just saw him beckon me a la Morpheus in the Matrix, right? So Wazu and Kanujan are fighting. You can like picture the Matrix scene. Morpheus is fighting Neo, right? Like, let's get some, Lord. Fuck you. Of course, he's parrying because he's got high weapon skill. And look at the beating he's taking, right? And he's not dead yet. Finally, he goes down. That's going to be really interesting once he gets, 280, 300 one-handed skill. More athleticism, etc. Anyways, the Fog of War, the mod doesn't work. I was looking at installing it for this campaign. What I want a mod where if your scouting is just mediocre or bad. Oh shit, try to get killed here. Let's see if I do get killed. Run away. Oh shit. What I wanted to do is say something generic, like this is a small force, medium force, large force, huge force. Whoops. Well, we're narrating too much to probably fight well. Wazu eats shit. Doesn't really matter though. I just looked up, this siege is over. This gal's going to be able to scorch some people. Oh shit. Well, maybe I shouldn't be running it in the fastest speed here, but this siege is over. It's just a matter of charging everybody. It's kind of a sloppy end, but we're doing a little narrating here. I want there to be a little mystery to what the enemy has, right? I want to say small force, large force, huge force, and for you to not know, first, what troops are in it, and second, how many it is, right? I don't want to know that it's exactly 1,847 troops. I just think that's artificial. It's not realistic. 68 upgrades. That is out fucking standing. We're maxing some perks, 302 throwing. That was a tremendous defense victory for us there. And a huge saving, stopped for our Aserai forces, right? We were really getting overwhelmed. The entire realm of Khazate just got taken prisoner. That was like 15 lords. And they had prisoners. So this is beautiful. They had both troop prisoners, which we just immediately add to our army, and we're going to be able to restock the garrison some, and a bunch of prisoners. Anyways, it doesn't exist, but if there's a mod maker that's listening, please make a mod where it just makes the enemy forces based on your scouting. And the more accurate, the better your scouting is, the more accurate you should get a view of the enemy. Maybe it starts to tell you in terms of hundreds if you got good skill. Instead of it saying a huge army, it says it's 1,200 or something like that, 1,400. That would be a lot more realistic. Look at this pile of loot. It's so much it's going to overburden us. Wazu is back to grinning again as we cart off huge amounts of dinars here from this defense. And like I was thinking, this castle is going to work for defense. So I just looked down. This episode's approaching an hour. We're going to wrap this up. I think we could put some troops in the garrison here. And we can sort of conclude. We'll have a little summary of what's happened. So, recovery from our disaster at Hussenfolk, right? Our army is now, I don't want to say it's elite, but it's working its way back to elite. We got a bunch of Aserai veteran infantry. Now, we've got a bunch of low-level troops too, but we can dump these guys in the garrison. And probably the next time you see this army on the battlefield, we're going to have, a 4 out of 5 elite army. It's not going to be completely elite. You can still see we've got some lower level troops. But the campaign is recovering, and this campaign continues. I'm not going to put Wazu to sleep. I know I've mentioned this 13 times already, but considering the fact that our frontiers are totally under assault, and there's no knowing what would happen, like if I just put Wazu in a sarcophagus now for 20 years. We might come back and the Aserai kingdom might be gone. So we're going to stabilize things first. We'll probably have at least another episode or two of this vassalage stage, right? This vassalage to an idiot. Of course, we're going to lose Jamea Castle. Our forces there went right by it. They just completely ignored it and went to siege Barihal Castle. And things look pretty rough here for the Aserai. Apart from our vanguard over here that we're holding to the northeast, this dipshit is up there in Northern Empire. He's probably going to get captured. For some reason, they're infatuated with the Northern Empire here. But we will wrap this episode up. Of course, if you want to see more from the Aserai campaign or more tactics or more F-bombs, more historical analogs, you want to subscribe. I appreciate you fellas. Please hit that like button. In fact, let me use my best Jedi Master voice here. You want to hit the like button. It seems appropriate for you to hit the like button. I would hit that like button. I appreciate you fellas. I'm going to wrap this episode up. As I said, please leave comments, criticism, all of that good stuff. And with that said, Wazu bids you guys farewell. I will see you guys next time.